think it's time to get started on our study session tonight. Make sure I've got the right sheet in front of me. Yeah, okay, this is it. I'm going to call us to order. Summer, will you call roll, please?
Commissioner Patterson?
Here.
Commissioner Norwood?
Here.
Commissioner Baker?
Here.
Commissioner Roberts is absent. Commissioner Stallings?
Here.
Commissioner Dennis?
Here.
And Mayor Mason.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay. At the Commissioner's request, discuss any item of concern in the regular session agenda. Is there anything on the agenda that anyone wants to talk about? Okay.
Well, there is this, no, I'm just kidding. We can talk about it soon.
Item 3.1, update on the downtown park development. And I'm excited about this one.
Yes, me too.
This is too short. He wants to talk.
Did we get them out of order?
We messed up the order on you.
Okay.
But if you want to talk about the, actually, we didn't mess up the order, I guess. Well, we
Downtown
did mess
park
up the order.
Oh,
We're going to talk park first. And I think, Scott, you were going to talk about how we got to where we are with clearing easements and vacating stuff. And then, Morali, you and I are going to talk, and Alex is here from Jiffy Trip. We're going to talk about the plan. It's wonderful. It's exciting. And tell us about the good news, Scott.
You bet. So just a little recap of how we got here. We started out in October getting ready for demolition and looking at some of the utility concerns we had. Those OG&E poles pretty much right on the building. We were able to get demolition scheduled for in October, and we got it completed, as you guys were well aware of. And just recently, everything but the OG&E poles and some Blue Peak fiber were still in place during Thanksgiving and almost up to Christmas, but we were able to get OG&E and Blue Peak to remove all of that infrastructure. And so as it sits right now, the only infrastructure that's left is in the alley that you see there in the picture. There's about a third of the way through that alley, there's an ONG gas main, and we signed an agreement today with them to remove that gas line. So in a few weeks that will be finished, and there will be nothing left in that alley. So what's left to do after that, the vacation hearing has been set for February 26th. So we've notified everyone, and in a few weeks, we'll have all of the utilities out of that area, and we'll be ready to have the judge give us a decree on that. And then, once that's done, we can finalize our plats. So we'll come before you. You can see the timeline here. We'll probably be at MAPC on March the 16th, and then turn it around the next night and come here on March the 17th to approve these 3 plats that we're going to make, or 3 lots that we're going to make for this new downtown park.
Yes, lot 3.
So lot 1 is where Jiffy Trip will be located. Lot 2 is the south part of the amphitheater, where the actual amphitheater will be, and then across the street from Park is lot 3, where there'll be under her wings, and there'll be some additional features on that side. So from 32 lots down to 3. So a month from now we'll be, or back in March, we'll be back in front of you to finalize this plat.
Good.
I think I'm going to turn it over to Gerald and Morale right here. Are there any questions you have for me before I? Okay, thanks.
All right, yeah, and I just to recap, Scott updated you once before here, probably several months ago, and gosh, everything takes a little bit longer and unfortunately costs a little bit more and is a little more challenging than we initially think it is. And so finding all of the utilities was an interesting challenge. We found some interesting things, didn't we, Jason? And Scott's diligently worked with the team to get that all removed on February 26th, I think you just said. And so ideally, we think we fleshed out everything. Hopefully that will go well. And then we would close, Alex, sometime after that. I know we tried hard to close by the end of the year, but just so, hey, I want to talk about the layout. session. And Morali, since I think maybe I'll leave a little bit for, or a lot for you to talk about with this. And I know I want some things have to happen to make it all come to fruition.
Right, I think, yep, this is the phasing plan. Let me
Can you go back to the slide? Yeah, that slide. Let's talk about that a little bit more and remind everybody. Lot 1, can you point to Lot 1 with the Jiffy Trip?
Yeah. That's the lot 1.
Okay.
That's where the Jiffy Trip is going to be. This
Yeah.
is the location of, just to give some directions. On the left side of the screen is Garriott Road, and bottom is a Grand, and the top is going to be Independence. So just some directions on it. And Jiffy Trip is going to be close to the Garriott Road. That's going to be lot 1. And lot 2, it's going to be up to the street.
Park Street.
Park Street, including the center point where the one tree is going to be, and the amphitheater. Those are all going to be lot 2. And everything north of the Park Street, it's going to be lot 3, where we have under the wing and some features that's going to be in the future is going to be. The Park Street is going to be paved with pavers to give some texture and architecture to the location. And also we have some the turf area of the amphitheater seating, and around the and there will be a pavers around the one tree, and also some more additional turf around the pavers to provide some maintenance and stuff like that. And there are a few features that's going to be decided in the future, how that's going to be laid out. But currently it's going to be providing additional circles. So in the future that's going to be decided based on the funding and stuff like that. This plot also contains an irrigation system for all the lawns, so it's going to be well maintained irrigation. I think that's about it. Yeah, I think the elevation wise, currently whatever the concrete pad of the tree is going to be, that's going to be maintained for the future.
Yeah, the amphitheater here, when we finish and move through, you'll see some slides that will better picture the, gosh, the word's escaping me, but the tiered seating that would
Elevated
be
seating,
there.
yeah.
Can you point to the actual stage area has been moved a little forward of that circle?
Right here.
I think it's
yeah.
listed as number 3,
Yeah.
permanent stage canopy. And that's what people that are sitting in the seating area would see on whatever's going on there, plays, any kind of show, musical show, whatever we want to do there. The idea is that would capture that. The tree area, when the tree's not there for a couple months, would be open and flat, and lots of trees there. And so in Lot 3, which is north that Morali just talked about, the primary feature that we're focused on in one of those circles, and I don't know if the number's on it anymore, but that one, if you could point to that top green one, that's the area that we think that we'll put a playground area into.
Nice.
And those other 2 areas will be optional for other things. They'll end up just being probably grass in the beginning because of the budgetary reasons we'll show you in a minute. But you can see overall it looks really, really good. And so wanted to show you that again. It hasn't changed too much from what you've seen before, but this might be a good time to stop and get your thoughts and feedback on that.
And like this area, number 2, it's still like sloped area, so people can sit still without any It's not
Yep,
going to be
and,
flood area.
Mayor, I know that you and Commissioner Patterson are going to want to talk about the Spaceman. I think we're going to put it somewhere up there, right?
We're going to work on that.
We're going to work on that, yes. And that will be a project that'll be coming through PACE. And so there'll be art in there. Under Her Wing will still be there, and it'll just be a very nice area.
Maybe a little premature, but along with the seating we'll build in and with the kind of the hill surrounding it, have there been any estimates how many people that could accommodate for an event or a concert or play, whatever?
I don't think
we've seen or asked for any estimates. I know this is a concept. Alabac Design is doing this out of Stillwater, and they've actually been engaged by Jiffy Trip through our agreement that we have, and that they're the company that designed, is it Block 34 in Stillwater?
Fabulous, yeah.
Which is another point. At some point, we'll want to name this park. We thought we could come up with something better than just Block 34 or Block 57. So, but we haven't figured that out yet. That'll come in the future. And, but it's exciting, Mayor and Commissioners. Any thoughts, feedback? We're going to show you some more slides here on this, but
You know, before we go any further, I'll point out, and to answer your question, Commissioner, I don't know how many total seats that is, but if you go on up above, the way this thing slopes, and you'll see in a second, that'll be all open to either blankets or lawn chairs. So there'll be a lot of people be able to utilize this. Also wanted to point out that, you know, that's a street through there right now, and we closed it 2 years ago, thereabouts. And that road has a big crown on it. If you ever walk out there, there's a large crown. With that being said, before they put pavers on that, they're going to level that road out. I think they can go in, and Don Rose has mentioned that they can pour that on both sides and come across so it's level. And then the dirt will be level on both sides, so we won't have a big step down. And then that'll make a nice place to put all those pavers. And, you know, people might ask us, well, what kind of pavers is that? We're not that far along yet. We just want pavers. We don't want it to just look like concrete out there. And so there's that. And then another thing that I think is pretty important is that we're going to put an irrigation system in this whole thing.
Smart.
We live in Oklahoma. Summers are tough, and if we want it to look like this and we want our trees to grow to maturity, I think we've got to be able to water them on a regular basis. So, and you know, we're going to have lots of water coming up here. We're going to have lots of water. So that's important. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is, if you look at, it's hard to see on that, but if you look on up close, all of the little round circles just inside of the large circular sidewalk that goes around it, those are vertical lights that stand up. And hopefully, when we purchase those, we'll be able to, they go all the way around, and we should be able to change the color on those from time to time. So like whenever we have Month of the Military Child, which is the purple color, hopefully we can change that to those colors. So I think it will be very, very attractive also. And then on the Spaceman, I know that terms come out. Let me just explain what that is before we go any further. PACE, our PACE group, our Public Arts Commission, you drive around Enid, we have got a lot of wonderful murals, projects. I mean, that continues to go on. I've just been fascinated by what all they've done. They've got one that is going to go, well, I won't get into it. It's down, would be on the bottom right corner of all the green area there. And it is the guitar that is the same guitar as
Well, no.
last name Hedges.
Yeah,
Michael
so
Hedges.
you're talking not the astronaut here. You're talking the guitar.
I'm talking about the guitar.
Which is a tribute to Michael Hedges.
Yes, yes.
And it'll have a QR code where you can scan it with your phone and play Michael Hedges music. So
And it's about 12 foot, right? I mean, it's not like a guitar that you're going to see.
maybe even 15.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember, but it's big.
And that person, they put that out to bid, different ideas.
Local artist, Kelly
That was the
Tompkins.
one that actually won. But
Correct.
the number two, Cheryl brought this to me, a year ago probably and said, look at this. This was the number 2. It is fascinating. It is a stainless steel astronaut that's 10 foot tall, sitting on the ground with his legs crossed. And I know it sounds weird. I just saw the chief over there go, what the heck's he talking about? But we think, especially since Owen K. Garrett was an astronaut and runs right there, I think it fits with our community. So we're going to be working on that. But the renderings I have seen on that are over the top, and I assure you no one else around is going to have anything like that, I hope.
It's kind of got an iridescent mirror tile around the whole thing, and it really is incredible.
Interactive so that
So the kids can crawl
kids
in
can
and
get up
around
on it
the
if they
legs
want.
and-
So,
For all the yoga fans out there, he's in a lotus position.
you know,
So you
Lotus,
see that with
exactly.
astronauts all the time.
That was the next thing I was going to say.
What you were.
So-
Took that away from you.
So, I am excited about all these features. The way this ground slopes, it goes all the way up to 0, right? If you remember before, there was a big drop down, right? That's going to go away. All that's going to fill up, and that slope's going to go from where the stage is all the way up to the grade level of the concrete at Jiffy Trip. So people can just walk right up that hill. We don't have to have stairs and all that kind of stuff that goes on. So anyway, I'm excited about it. I know it took us a while because we kind of went back and forth and let you guys look at it also. But I think it's a great plan. I'm excited about it. And the best thing about it is that it's probably going to be done around next October or November. It's got to be done before the tree next year goes up. So, you know, other than that.
Well, let's go ahead and show, the next slide was the phase slide, and what that really means is the green, we have a couple agreements with Hammer Williams, Jiffy Trip now. We had the initial agreement we did back in, I think in May of last year. We did one at the last council meeting that would allow us to do some things like close early. That didn't particularly work out. But the color coding, thanks to Don Rose with Alex here, is features that potentially we will get with the development by Hammer Williams. And you'll see the budget number down below. It's about $1.6 million. Yeah, let's just show that now. So you can see all those things on the left-hand side. Some of them are in that green area. Some of them are in the purple area. And so it's about a $1.6 million estimate. Now, that's just an estimate of the things. Our deal with Jiffy Trip provides for $1.3 million in cash or in kind. And with the amendment that you just approved last council meeting, I believe we put a very small amount on the cash part of the closing, and most of it's on the in-kind, kind of like about $1 million to 9, something like that, 2990 or something. Anyway, that's to help us through this agreement get as much as we can done. However, it won't be enough. So as always with every project, there'll be some more funding that we'll have to figure out. And then also, there's really two aspects. We'll have to figure out the funding, which part of that can probably just come, ultimately it'll all come through the budget somehow, but how we raise all of that, we'll probably talk about a little bit more. But then also we need to ensure, we'll likely have to have another amendment as we figure out and make sure that we contract in a legal way to get this done if somebody else is going to do it for us, or if part of it we do ourselves. So that's kind of just sharing the budget. The playground equipment was another, we think this is our estimate of about $300,000. It may be more than that. Certainly, I can hear Don Rose in my head saying we can have as much or as little. However, it all comes with a price tag. So if you add all that up together, that's just what we've shown on the screen. That's about $2.8 million. So I know where 1.3 is coming from. That's going to come through the closing process with our agreement. The rest of it we're going to have to figure out. I know that Dr. Mack's in the audience. I think soon we're going to be talking about some potential with the state maybe on some funding. I don't have any news on that or amounts, but then I think the mayor's going to talk about potentially here when we get done with this show, talking about some donations. So let's go ahead and show some more slides and then probably answer questions. This is what Park Street will look like. You remember, it's going to be, Mayor talked about it, it'll be flattened out. It'll be nice pavers, trees. You can see picnic tables and people. So you can see, I think that's a food truck or something there. It's supposed to be representative of, so food trucks could come down there or other vehicles as needed. There's kind of the terraced is what I was thinking of earlier, a terraced approach. You can see some rough dimensions there. On those spots with the actual limestone seating that's shown there, that will be synthetic. It's intended to be turf because it's going to be walked on a lot. So we want it to be nice all the time. But what the mayor talked about is everywhere else around there, you can take blankets just like they do at Government Springs right now. So I don't know if keep doing all that stuff at Government Springs, or this might be a candidate.
Shift to this.
Approved candidate with this. And you can kind of see the stage there and the landing where it talks about, the mayor said there won't be much of a step up. You can see there for that stage should be a simple, gentle step. And of course, it'll have to be ADA accessible somewhere there too. So, and do we have, yeah, I've got at least one more slide. This may be close to the end, showing some things we can have and pavers, picnic tables. This this shade area that's probably going to be over by the playground. If we, in the upper left hand, you can see.
Yeah. That's not a train track.
It's not a train track.
No, it's a shade. So,
And then there's some other options with green stuff and turf. You know, depending on the budget, we'll see what we do. But also, those are things that can come back in a phased approach in later years. So a lot of potential down there. Is that the last slide, or is there one more? Okay, that was it. So I wanted to show you that stuff, try to answer some more questions. And then, Mayor, do you want to talk about the possibility of trying to raise some donations to pay for some of this?
Before you go there,
Yes, sir.
I haven't heard any mention of Under Her Wings. And I'm probably, Gerald and I are the only two that were there
Yeah.
when that came to pass. It was a controversial.
I was there.
No, you weren't on the commission back then.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It was a very controversial thing and still is a controversial issue. And I think at a minimum, we need to get those people engaged and at least give them a chance to improve what we have now. And hopefully it will be better than it was when they thought it was great.
We do have to leave it for a 10-year period from the time that it was put up.
Well, I'm not suggesting taking it away. I'm
Sure.
suggesting improving it.
But I'm not sure we can make any changes.
We already done that. We
Until
cut
that
the grass
10-year.
down. I mean, the grass was higher than you are at one point in time. And it's not like that now. So that's what I'm talking about, is landscape changes to make it a more, in my opinion, and everybody won't agree with me, to look better. So.
Well, as a two-time donor to Under Her Wings, I'm anxious to hear what the possible suggestions are down the pike.
Well, we'll just jump out there. Raleigh, can you show that area just to the north? That is some potential right there. It's kind of a grayish area on your screens. That's where some thought is that we can put some crushed granite, we can try some vegetation, we can try some things to enhance that area. From my perspective as a city manager, the whole area as a prairie did not work, and so that's the main thing that we have changed up to this point. The intent is to still incorporate Under Her Wing with the walkway, but to potentially look at that area there as a way to enhance that. I know we've changed the lighting in there over time and the walkway lighting, and that might be something that we might want to look at. I know we have PACE's representative, Marcia Scott. I know I think you're on PACE, you're not on PACE, you're on Park Board and Library Board. Okay, well, then it's Linda, I guess, Linda Moore. You are.
LaCroix Moore.
And you can certainly lead the charge there. So we have an opportunity, but with the plan, the intent is to leave it. I know the agreement with the city was that it had to stay 10 years. I haven't gone to look to see how many years are left. I think it's a nice feature, and overall, we might want to keep it into the future, but that can still be decided by the council. But enhancements to it can certainly are within the purview of the council and PACE.
And we actually have some ideas, I think, that I shared with you. I can't remember if I shared them with you or the PACE committee.
I don't think it was me.
Okay. We have talked about that, and it is a sensitive topic for some. And so we just want to make sure that we're respectful to everybody's opinions on that. But we all can agree that there are enhancements that could be made to that.
Yep. So it's a great opportunity, and it's something that's been talked about at the city over many, many decades. I know Don Rose was a commissioner when I first came to the city, more than Morale, you and I both, 21 years ago or something like that. And Don remembers it being talked about. So he's heavily involved with Alex and the Hammer Williams team in trying to make this happen. But yes, I think there's opportunity for improvements, but the main thing I wanted to point out was that area that we're showing that is open to thoughts, and there may be other thoughts too. So, any other questions before the mayor talks about raising money?
Are any of these improvements going to affect the ice rink, like as we look into holiday?
No, not in my opinion, because the ice rink's in the parking lot.
Right here.
I expect it will probably still continue to be in the parking lot. And the parking lot area, somewhere in there is where Mayor, you were just talking about, and Mr. Patterson, you were talking about the hedges artwork, right? That's not necessarily, that's not portrayed on here, but I think you've got a.
I've been, Commissioner, I think you were talking about right there in the bottom right-hand corner, that little offset right there is what,
Right, so it
go?
is just
on to the, right there.
south side of the Stride Center, where you would drive up to the box office, just on the south side of that drive.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so it'd be,
Closer to the-
okay, okay.
There's actually a cement pad out there right now.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't Boomer or one of
Okay.
Yes.
HT's.
So it'll be
was supposed
farther,
to be there and they moved it.
yeah,
Okay.
okay,
I do have a
So
question.
across from the ballpark.
okay. All right. Commissioner, go ahead.
Will it be on the same time schedule as the rest of the parks in Enid?
Well, the intent is that the park, and depending on funding, everything that we can fund is going to happen in the next year, along with the Jiffy Trip development. Alex is here, and at some point, Alex, you're welcome if you want to step up and say anything. Appreciate your companies.
Are you talking about the cost, or are you talking about the work?
Costs. I'm talking about, our parks close at 10 o'clock in the evening, and, as far as the public being allowed to go down there and
Yeah,
at nighttime, like we do the rest of our parks.
Generally, we would have the same rules unless we decide to change them. I mean, the park will be lit up. It'd be probably a nice place to go and walk around. We're going to have a playground down there, so I think there'll probably be folks who want to come down there and play. Typically, our other parks with playgrounds and things, we shut down at dusk.
Yeah.
So we probably have the same rules, but obviously they're going to be different at times. There will be shows down there that will probably be at night. And so, I guess we're flexible. Generally, we probably have a lot of the same guidelines. We certainly, what we're designing is something nice. We want people and families to feel comfortable and safe coming down there. So obviously, we don't want loitering there. So probably if there's any problems with that, I know Chief over there is probably studying right now on his phone how he's going to take care of that in the future. So, or answering emails. Yeah, so we're not going to have, we'll definitely not have loitering. But Chief, if you have anything you'd like to say about it, please do.
Looking forward to seeing it come to fruition, and we'll deal with any issues as they arise.
Absolutely.
Alex, what do you think about this? You like it?
No, we're excited. It looks awesome, and I had nothing to do with the design, and that's why. But no, we're excited. I think the timeline's going to be critically important, that we get this thing designed quickly. And I know that originally we had a much smaller scope, but you guys have big ideas and want great things, and so we're open to expanding that, but it obviously changes your budget, and it's up to you guys how you figure out how to do that. But our goal is to close in March we'd like to get the whole project permitted in April so that we can start construction in May and have the park area complete prior to the construction of the tree going up, just so it's a lot cleaner. So that's going to be really important to us. How far you guys decide you want to go with the project is ultimately your decision. But we really would like the construction of the park to run simultaneous with the construction of the store so that our construction services can go further. Combining lots 2 and 3, being able to do dirt work all at the same time, there's obviously savings associated with that instead of doing one, then doing the other. So I think there's some efficiencies you guys can help us with. We're happy to support. If you guys are looking for a name for the park, was it Block 34 in Stillwater?
Yeah.
Just call this Lot 2 and 3, maybe. Just keep it real practical. So.
Actually, I commend you guys for going with a group that developed Block 34. How did that come to fruition? Because I think that's a great design they came up with over there in Stillwater.
Yeah, we got ideas from probably 3 or 4 design companies, but having something so close that's so well done was, and they came very highly recommended. So we're excited. Everything they provided has been really timely as well. So we think that they can hit the design work to fit the timeline for what we're looking for as well.
Well, I think it'll be exciting to have the Jiffy Trip. That's going to be, we say one of a kind, but it's going to offer a lot of the amenities, and you're going to do your best to make that fit in. And it'd be nice to be able to buy some food downtown. I think if I want to get legal services or go to a restaurant, I can do that. But if I want to go buy some pork and beans or a 6-pack of beer, I'm not sure I can do that anywhere else down there close. So.
Well, we're happy to fill a void and excited. So.
Alex, do you have an approximate timeline on the Jiffy Trip piece?
We won't be able to get it done as quickly as we get the park done, but I think we could be looking at very end of the year, probably most likely December being open.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. So I'll wind up with this. We did. We all sat around, a few of us at a time, and decided that we wanted more than a half a park.
Right.
Is what we decided on. And there are budgetary issues that we've got to figure out how to raise the rest of that money. I'd done some phone calls, talked to Mayor Joyce over in Stillwater about Block 34, how they made that happen. It is also called Kicker Park, which happens to be Kicker Industries are over there that make speakers. Yeah. He also told me that that project was $12.5 million. So when we talk about spending 2.6, 7, whatever it is, this is a bargain, a bargain compared to what they spent over there. And I asked him, I said, how'd you get all that money? He said, we asked for donations. He said, if people want nice things, they've got to pony up money. And he said that's what they did. And I think that's a good way, since between the contract that we did with Jiffy Trip on the 1.3, we'll probably be able to come up with a little bit. I think we're just going to have to go out there, look at naming rights for the park, naming rights for the stage, the actual amphitheater, the naming rights for the playground area. I think there's a lot of things out there. We have talked to a young lady here in town that does some fundraising that we will bring back to you most likely the next meeting after this one with a proposal. I've seen that. Very, very reasonable. We're going to ask her to go out and raise about $800,000 or $900,000, and I think we can do that. Enid usually always steps up. But out in TV land right now, if you're watching and you're interested in sponsoring the name of the park or the stage or some of those larger items, you better get with us quick, because you're going to be lining up to do that, and you don't want to miss out on it. So with that being said, That's how we intend to raise the other, hopefully the other 800,000 or 900,000. And then through what Dr. Mack will be working on also, there's going to be a lot of exciting things going on downtown. So it's time we step up and revitalize some stuff. And here we are today, right? So ball's back in our court is what it amounts to as citizens. So,
And Kurt, we're not beneath asking the legislators to give us some money, and so if you want to start greasing the skids for this wonderful park, that'd be fine.
okay. So any questions or comments before we move on? We spent quite a bit of time on this, but it's a big project.
Yeah, it's going to be
Big project.
It'll give the public a place to go to.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah, especially the children and the playgrounds and
Yeah.
all that. That's nice.
So, all right, with that being said, I'm going to move on. Item 3.2, update on the Stride Bank Center West parking lot design, which happens to be downtown also,
Yep.
right?
Yep, speaking of revitalization. So I'm not actually not going to give this presentation tonight. I'm going to ask Ramon Valenzuela to present it for us. This is his first time in front of y'all, so I wanted to introduce him. He came to us via Texas and Arkansas. He's worked in those states. He's got a PE license, and he's actually has a SE license. He's a structural engineer, and he does most of our roadway and some of our bridge design, culvert design, some of the structural design stuff that we do here in the city. And so this is a fitting project for him. So he did the design. So Ramon.
Thank you. Hello, Mayor, Commissioners. So I want to talk to you about the Stride Bank Center, the west parking lot. As you can see, this is the location. Where should I point? The screen? Oh, yeah. So this is the parking lot I'm talking about. Here is the building of the Stride Bank Center. As you can see, very close to the amphitheater. And currently, the parking is built with asphalt. It has 201 spaces, 7 ADA spaces built of concrete at the corner of Cherokee and Independence. And you can see here we have only 2 poles, 4 lights. That's what we currently have. But our proposed new parking lot will be built of concrete. We're going to have more concrete spaces, 207, 13 ADA parking spaces, and we're going to have 10 for electrical vehicles. So we're going to have stations for 10 cars. And we will have some islands in the parking lot. And the lights will look like the parking lot that is on the south of Oklahoma. And I put a picture there, that's the style. Okay. And each of the lights is going to have outlets for special events. And also, we're going to have 2 of those poles with 50 amps, and the rest of the poles are going to be 30 amps. Everything prepared for the special events. And here you can see my parking lot. You can see these are the islands at the ends. And over here are the EV stations. And
So all the parking slots are going to go the other direction, aren't they?
yes, sir.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
You notice well, yes. It's because we had to improve the flow. So
Well, that matches the other parking lots too, right?
yeah, we did the study and it will flow very nice. So currently I have 90% design drawings. I need about an extra month to finish the finals. And it takes us about 2 months to do the bidding and contracts. Okay. And then once we select the contractor, construction can take probably up to 4 months, depending on weather and the contractor itself. That's it. If you have any questions.
Can you go back to the
Engineer's
picture of the
estimate?
parking lot? Yeah.
I'm sorry, Commissioner.
Did you do an engineer's estimate on the cost?
Yes. I came out with 1.2 billions, yes.
1.2 million?
There are some, as you're tearing that parking lot up, there are some potholes that have been there so long. Could we maybe preserve those and sell those to fund the amphitheater?
Let's find a donor
I
for
feel like
them.
There you
they're
go.
hard to
Somebody
Yeah.
do.
write that.
That's a good idea.
That's funny.
It's my understanding also, if I heard correctly, when I was being briefed on this, that property that is to the west, to the west, our property line actually goes over farther. You can see it on the red line there. And we're going to put up a wooden fence.
Correct, yes.
That way that'll kind of shield that property from us and us from them, right?
Yes, and lighting facing the parking and not the
Yes.
house, correct.
So I think that'll clean that up and make that look a lot better.
Yes,
So-
and we are saving one tree, the 7-foot diameter tree. That's the reason of my circle over here.
Okay.
All right. Any questions?
Well, go ahead, Jason.
I just wanted to elaborate just a little bit more on the EV stations. We're not actually installing EV chargers in those locations. We're just basically going to have the conduit to those locations and then explore the world and possibility of how to get EV charging stations to there, either through a leasing agreement or something of that nature. I'm not too familiar with those, and so we're going to have to do some exploring. It's just that's where we've decided to dedicate those. That's going to be the closest to the OG&E power that's down there. And so any kind of upgrades as far as the actual chargers will be through the company that comes in and puts the stations in. So.
We anticipate that company, anybody can use those chargers, but they'll need to have a credit card or some way to pay, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And
I'm
it
sure
would
those
be-
companies
yeah.
don't do it for free. so.
That's right, yeah. It wouldn't be through this, you wouldn't charge, well, I don't know this for a fact, but the way I've learned about it is it necessarily wouldn't be through the city. Like they wouldn't be buying their charge from the city, it would be buying their charge
Right.
from whoever the company
And I think that's the way it is, although, does anybody have an electric car that could tell us? We might have to buy one at the city just to find
Yeah.
out.
And I think that's kind of the other benefit from the kind of the method that we're doing with this is, we're going to spend the money on the conduit, and that's about, that's it. And in the grand scheme of things, that's not that big of a thing. That way, hopefully, when we put it out there, we can learn if there's an interest, actually, will companies want to put a charger here? And so, maybe it's 1, maybe it's 10. We don't know.
Could you also research, are there school buses that are electric where we might want to leave one space for all these buses that come to the basketball tournaments? And
That's
I don't know if anybody does electric buses.
That's a great question.
I do know from a marketing standpoint, one of the attorneys here locally has an electric vehicle, and when you start punching up places to go, it always shows, there's certain, I guess, websites you can go to which will show where the electric charging stations is. So I think we've got something like down the pike for a concert or something.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will be looking to see what we have.
Right.
So I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Is the electricity at the poles, is that on all the time, or just when we want it to be on?
LED and...
I'm talking about the outlets at the bottom, or where?
No, we're going to be able to have a switch so that
Yes,
it's only turn on.
we will need that, a switch that you and I can't just walk up there and flip. Yeah.
Questions or comments?
Well, that parking lot's not in a very good shape, so it's time to
Oh,
do
it's
that.
way past time.
Have we got this in the budget for this year, or is this something you're going to have to?
Have an amount in the budget, I don't know what it is, I don't, think it's $1.2 million,
I
though.
don't
So I
think
think I
it's
might have been hearing things when I heard that number. I'm not sure.
I believe we have 800 in our budget, I believe is the number we have.
So it's graspable.
Yes. Yep.
Commissioner, you sat down there with all your friends?
I used to have a lot of people around me, but the more I dig into some of these projects, the less.
Well, I think, once again, this is going to be a great enhancement for our downtown. It'll match our other parking lots that we've already done.
Yeah.
And as we continue to grow, as we continue to do more things downtown, we struggle now with parking. So I think this is a great project for us to get kicked off here pretty soon. So,
And welcome to Enid. I don't know how long you've been here, but welcome.
5 years.
all right, very good. Thank you all. All right, item 3.3, discuss the efforts to connect the Crossland Park walking trail to the Heritage Hill addition to Willow Road, making a north-south connection. Jason?
That's the real reason why I wanted Ramon to present that one, so you guys didn't have to hear me talk for 2 presentations long, but he did a great job.
And we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. So I just went blank on the number. What's the item number later tonight?
7.7, and I think there's a hearing before it, too.
Okay, so what I'm talking about now is going to be covered later in the commission, item 7.7. So it's the Heritage Hills Walking Trail. We are going to apply for a loan or a grant, whatever the word is, to construct a trail on the backside of Heritage Hills. And so I'm going to give you a quick presentation over what that looks like, what it's going to be, where is it exactly located. So my favorite map I get to show every time. So this is the trail system that we've been working on here lately. It seems like a lot of focus, not really intentionally, but it's come together quite nicely. So looking at the map here, the Heritage Hills, where's my, oh, there it is, okay. So Heritage Hills right here, and so the Heritage Hills Trail that we're going to be proposing tonight is this one here. So to get yourself oriented on the map here, this is Autry Technology Center. This is Jumbo's and that shopping center there. Cleveland is here running north-south, and along Willow right here. So out here at the elementary school, of course, the project we got under construction right now, out here along Willow, the trail continues along down Willow, and then we've wrapped up construction down there along Cleveland, this connection along Cleveland. And so little connection that we will have left to do to make it trail, but there is sidewalk there currently. I haven't been on it specifically, so I don't know what it's like, but there is sidewalk that runs along the north side of Willow, so the connection's there. So our Heritage Hills Trail that we're proposing will connect Willow up to Oxford, and with Crossland Park located just right up here at the north. Baseball fields and things that are just right there. So zooming in a little bit to the location, here is Wagon Trail on the left side of this picture here. Willow that runs along the bottom. And this is there's actually a gas line easement that runs along through here. The gray line that you see back here on the back, that is a part of our master plan, that layer that is on our GIS. So that's our trails master plan. And I just wanted to turn that on to show how nicely that this little connection fits right into where it needs to go. So the trail will run along as we're proposing it right now, runs along the east side of Wagon Trail, and then runs up along a green space that's between Calico and Surrey Lane. There's some green spaces in there in Heritage Hills. So it runs through that green space, up around the back side of the properties, and up north to Oxford. We will break this into 2 phases. Phase 1 being the portion from Oxford down to Wagon Trail. And then phase 2 would be this short little section. The loan that the money we're applying for is an 80-20 match, and it's about $300,000 plus the $75,000 that we would match. And from our early estimates that we've done so far, that's really that's what phase 1 is about $375,000, $400,000, and then the rest is about $150,000 to $200,000, that little section there. So the trails is roughly 2,300 feet long, so it's right at a half a mile. It's 10 foot wide. It'll be concrete, and as I mentioned before, it connects Crosland Park to Willow. Zooming in there just a little bit more, you can see, if you're not familiar with that area, I've got some pictures coming up, but on the back side of Heritage Hill, there's some green space that the development has saved during their construction, and they use it. Green space, it's well maintained through an HOA. We've reached out and spoken with with members of the HOA and haven't got any pushback, no negative feedback from them. And so that's the northern portion. Here's the southern portion running along that green space back there. Some pictures that we took out in the field the other day. This is looking north at the beginning. Actually, that's looking south at the beginning. Sorry, that's the wrong direction there. Looking south right at the beginning. Oxford is right behind us in the picture. And moving along towards the south there, excuse me, there is an existing sidewalk back there. It's really kind of small, and it's not really a whole lot there, but it already actually runs through there. And we're going to follow pretty close to that existing path back there. It's going to run back there along the trees. Here's another little area towards the midpoint.
So Jason, are you replacing the trail they have there, or is it going to be next to it?
Yeah, the majority we'll be replacing it, yeah. There'll be a few places where we go off of it, but we'll go ahead and connect them together, just so what's there is also still usable. Going along back there, this is kind of one little area where it'd be a little more difficult to get in there, but it's nothing that we can't overcome. There's a small drainage channel that's back there that will have to be crossed with something. Mm-hmm. Some more pictures back there behind, between the fences of the trailer park and then the other homes on the other side. Again, some more pictures, so you can kind of get the feel that this is going to be a nice little, I think, a nature type trail more so than some of our ones where they're just along the streets in town. But so we've completed our survey. Design, should have, it's about 90%. It's 90% right now. I just completed the final review of the 90s today, and so we'll have the plans wrapped up by the end of the week for sure. Utility coordination is actually already underway. We've reached out with the gas line company that's back there in the back to get the clearance from them to make sure that we're okay. We got a few communications utilities that we need to work with. Obviously, with the actions that we're taking tonight, funding's underway. Kind of just where we're at from there. Once it comes through, is bidding would probably take about 2 months, and the construction we've estimated at approximately 4 months. So, any questions?
Yes, Commissioner Roberts, who couldn't be here tonight, would like me to ask, are there any plans to add a trail to the east side and then connect to the southern trails?
East side. Oh, east side of town.
Correct.
I'd have to study the maps. I can't really think of offhand right now. I know we've looked at doing some trails in the Government Springs area, south part, but specifically on the east side, I can't speak to that.
I think there's a master plan.
There is a master plan that I just can't, I haven't, I've looked at this area closely, but I haven't looked at.
There's like 97 miles
Yeah.
in the trail plan?
Mm-hmm.
I guess more of a comment than a question, but Crossland's where I go to run and play tennis, and I can't believe how many people, every time I'm out there, I'll see walking from Heritage Hills, across Oxford to come to Crossland with their dog to walk or do whatever. So I think from a safety standpoint, this is actually going to be a lot nicer to have people have the trail to access and just basically have to cross the road.
And this has been talked about for a long time. I live right in that area. I lived in Heritage Hills at one time, and they really do a great job of maintaining the green space in Heritage Hills, that organization that they've had. It's been there for a long time. I've walked this trail path. Matt Davis and I did it last year. He was trying to get me to support it, and obviously didn't have to try very hard. We just didn't have the money at the time. But this is a really good idea, and it'll really move people around. And that's what we've been lacking is to get people up to our park from the Jumbo and down in that area, because there's lots of people that live there. So, and as I walked it, unless it's changed in the last year, there's not a lot of grading. There's one place that's kind of got a pretty good slope you're going to have to do some grading on, but most of it is pretty flat. You're just going to have to go in there and lay concrete.
Yep,
So-
yep. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's fairly, and it's sandy, so it'll dries out pretty quickly to keep going. So.
We're also, if I remember correctly, we're about to do a overlay and redo the wagon trail, right?
Yeah, construction on that
coming
should
up
start.
pretty soon.
Yeah.
So
Next week, I think.
that'd be a lot of work up in that area.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jason, when you get to Oxford, is there going to be a crosswalk there? What's envisioned to get them connected to cross Oxford?
We'll be looking at some different options. Right now, I'm looking at probably a crosswalk with possibly some crosswalk signs or
Blinkers or
something of that nature.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like we have done on the south end.
Yeah.
Kind of a mid-block crosswalk there.
Don't say those words.
Commissioner, you had a question?
Question for Gerald. Do we still have that lay-down machine? The 10 foot?
No, we got rid of the lay-down machine probably 10 years ago. It was good. It was really built for building highways, and at that time we didn't have the expertise. I'm not sure we would now. So, we contract them out to build them.
Okay, because I remember we used it at Crossland Park
We did.
before I got on the commission. That was a pretty neat machine.
It was a very nice machine. I'm not sure where it went, but hopefully it went to a highway building company, because that's the quality it was. It was really big.
Yeah, it was.
And so it just wasn't, it didn't work for us. And honestly, it wasn't any more, it wasn't cheaper.
Okay.
Simply because, and it could just be the learning curve the first time around, but yes, I think we did persevere and got Crossland done, but it's, the machine, where you're going is, could we do it ourselves with that machine? No, we could not do it cheaper, and if Erin was sitting here, I think she would tell you that. I think she's probably sounding off in her office right now. She watches this, but no, we could not do it cheaper. So we got rid of that machine 10 plus years ago.
Interesting. Other questions, concerns? Thanks, Jason.
Absolutely.
Item 3.4, discuss proposed state legislation affecting municipalities, including state Senate Bill 647 regarding zoning regulations and State Question 842 regarding property taxes. Mr. Rogo,
All right.
glad you're here.
I'm super excited about the park. That's a beautification program we've not seen in years. And Frank, I think Carmen needs to dust off the manuscript for the melodrama that we did in 1993. We have
You
a new
come back
stage.
on stage if we
Yeah,
do that?
Let's do it.
Okay.
That's over 30 years ago. It's crazy.
That's a while.
All right. I told Gerald I'm going to do a little briefing on the state question. The Senate bill that was mentioned is a carryover piece of legislation on zoning. And I know that's going to be, I think it was dropped into a conference committee, but a conference committee never came out at the end of session. I don't know what they're going to be doing with it. So I'll report specifically on that in a few weeks when session begins. I do want to cover a few of the dates. We have two important dates coming up on us. The filing deadline is January 15th. And we're in that process right now. Believe it or not, just under 300 bills have been filed today, as of today. But in the next 9 days, we'll have another 3,000 bills filed. And that's the somnumy of of legislation that's going to be coming in the next few days. So I'll be in front of my computer researching, pulling all the Title X bills and everything that affects municipalities, and you'll get a pretty rough list the first time of all the legislation. And I talked with Leslie at OML, and we're going to be having a lobbyist meeting amongst all the municipal lobbyists getting together later this month to go through all of those issues. So a lot's going to be happening in the next few days, and then the legislative session begins February 2nd, which is the first Monday in February. That's when session starts. That's the constitutional date, first Monday in February. Groundhog Day this year. Okay, so this is an issue that's been brewing the last 4 weeks, the last month, a little bit before that maybe even. State Question 842, you're going to see this in the paper developing. It's not in its final stage yet of being on the ballot. But what is State Question 842? Is an initiative petition that proposes changing state law to eliminate Avalorum property taxes on owner-occupied homesteads through a 3-year phase-out of increased exemptions. So this only applies to homes that are occupied by you. It doesn't apply to rent houses or businesses or anything like that. It is your owner-occupied home. Unlike legislation passed by the Oklahoma legislature, State Question 842 would be decided directly by the voters. So I want to make it clear this has nothing to do with the state legislature. This is an initiative petition process, which I'll get into all the details of that. And this change that would be a vote of the people that has nothing to do with the legislature is a statutory change and not a constitutional change in the state's constitutions. Statutory change is what the legislature does. You can also do that with a vote of the people. In a lot of cases, the vote of the people, they do a lot of constitutional changes. But anyway, just want to make that designation there. What is State Question 842 again? What it's proposing is beginning January 1st of 2027, State Question 842 would expand the homestead exemption until the entire assessed value of primary residence is exempt from Avalorum taxation, except for the pre-2027 bond levies so that they don't interfere with some of those bond elections. It's basically phasing out property tax on your home. Starting in 2027, it would be 1/3 of the homestead exemption's assessed value. 2028, it'd take another third, making it 2/3. And then after 29, it'd be 100% exemption. And the whole idea of the people proposing this is just a tax cut. And has a great selling point. There are some ramifications on the other side of it, though. Steps that have been completed so far. So an initiative petition calling for a statewide vote was filed with the Secretary of State on December 5th. That was just a month ago yesterday. This essentially replaces the previously filed State Question 841, which was proposed changing the state constitution to reduce property taxes in the same manner as 842, but they wanted to make it constitutional. And so that was filed on November 21st, and then they withdrew it on the 5th and replaced it with a statutory change. I don't know why they did that. It seems like if you're going to make the effort, you would think they would make it more permanent if it's constitutional rather than statutory. I'll get an answer to that later, I'm sure. So what's the next step? The current step that they're in right now, and that is the initiative petition process will be reviewed by the Oklahoma Secretary of State and the Oklahoma Attorney General, and they'll review the petition, including the proposed ballot title and gist, which is the summary of the whole petition and how it would be read. They boil pages of law changes, and they boil it down to a paragraph that you would read in the voting booth. Future steps. So following the review, Oklahoma Secretary of State will publish a public notice of the petition, and publication begins with a 10-day period in which the protest to the wording of the ballot title for the petition would be filed. If the petition survives a ballot title challenge, or if there is no challenge, the Secretary of State designates a date in which the 90-day signature collection period would begin. So whenever they get through the petition process, they'll set 90 days, 3-month process to collect signatures at the park, in front of Walmart, wherever they may be. And I will tell you, the signature process these days is not just sign here on a piece of paper. It's electronic. There's professional services out there that pull up your voter identification right there to make sure you're a registered voter, and sign here beside your name. Separate 90-day protest period to challenge the constitutionality of the petition also begins when the public notice of the petition is published. Initiative petition for statutory change, such as State Question 842, requires, and so this is a sticking point with me, requires petitioners to gather signatures at least equal to 8% of the votes cast for the office of governor in the last general election. So in recent years, this is why the initiative petition process has been energized and used a lot, especially on the medical marijuana issue that came about. It's easy to get this, and this law changed. I need to look up and see when this was changed. I want to say this was done in the early 2000s when they started lessening the benchmarks of signatures to make it a state question or an official proposal. So all they have to do is get at least equal to 8% of the votes cast for the office of governor in the last general election. And when you do the math, all they have to do is gather up 92,000 signatures to proceed to the next step. And there are some other rules they have to abide by, and that is the number of signatures from any single county cannot exceed 11.5% of the votes cast. So they can't gather all their signatures in Oklahoma City or in Tulsa. They can only get 11% or 11.5% in each one of those counties and then move to the next county. I was kind of starting to look at the numbers, and literally they could gather all the signatures and not even touch Garfield County if they wanted to. And because we're the 12th largest county in the state. There's a lot of other counties that are more populated. So I thought that was interesting. The point I'm trying to make here is it's not that many signatures. I did the math. Anybody take a guess at how many votes were cast on the governor's election in 2022 here in Garfield County? 16,000, just over 16,000. So the max amount of signatures they could get in Garfield County would be about 1,800, which is not that many. I mean, that's a few days in front of Walmart probably. Once the signatures are collected, the Attorney General reviews the ballot, and the Oklahoma State and the Oklahoma Supreme Court will review the signatures for certification. Now, I mentioned that earlier. They're getting more high tech on collecting signatures of real registered voters. They will pull your information right up there on an iPad off of the voter data, and so that it's already verified. And then there's a protest period that lasts another 90 days. And so there's a lot of protest periods. This is going to last for several months to get it to the state question. I don't know if they can hit the general election in November or not when you do the math, and if there's protests and things like that. We'll see. If there are no protests or the Supreme Court denies any protest, the governor will call for an election for a statewide vote. And you just need a majority to pass. Fiscal impact. And this was noted. I actually pulled up their first petition or their first proposal, 841, and the fiscal impact was listed with the Secretary of State, and here it is. The petitioners say it's going to be a $400 million reduction across the state collected in ad valorem in 27, and $800 million in 28, and over $1 billion in 29. And that's just an estimate. I don't know where they're getting the numbers, but that was noted in their filing. How does this impact school funding? About 26% of the revenue for public schools is generated through property taxes. And this includes taxes approved for school bond issues. About 63% of revenue for career tech system is generated through property taxes. So this has a lot of impacts. It's going to be a topic and a campaign that sells really well. I mean, and the message is, why are we paying tax on a house that we already own outright, you know? But that's how property taxes work. But a point of what I'm trying to say here is they're going to collect the tax somewhere else. You know, you may reduce it, but then the county is going to be pinched, and they have a couple different things that they can do, and that is they can change the valuation methodology of other properties, like businesses and ag land, and your property tax will go up so that they get that collection. Or they'll start doing sales tax initiatives, which starts stepping into the municipal lane a little bit and pinches here and there. And we certainly don't want to see that competition for that tax dollar. So that was the state question, the initiative petition process. Out of just the under 300 bills that have been filed so far, there's actually one that has been filed on this issue, and that's Senate Joint Resolution 23 by Bullard, and it was filed on December 11th, just a few days after the initiative petition process. His is a little different, though. It's a constitutional amendment to remove all ad valorem taxation on persons over 65 and to place a freeze on increases for property taxes statewide to adjust related county authority and make ad valorem taxes statutory instead of constitutional. So he's targeting the over 65 crowd to just put a freeze on increases, I think is what he's doing there. I guess they would still have it. But it's the same topic. It's going to be a litmus test. You're going to see this issue pop up in the papers this session in tandem with the initiative petition process and the challenge period and all that. So it's an important topic. I can tell you OML, they're congregating right now on this. A lot of this information that I got here came from Oklahoma State Board of, or the Oklahoma State School Board Association, Sean Heim, and they already have a white paper out on it. Obviously, schools are very concerned as to where this may turn and putting a little pressure on the local property tax. So, any questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
My question is, on this piece of legislation, would a descendant be able to receive total grandfathered in? Would they be grandfathered in if we went with the first one, if it were to pass, as far as no taxes
It would be
paid?
what they're proposing is a phase out of property tax on the home that you live in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that. What is
So
your
if
question
grandmother died,
okay,
and auntie's living with grandmother, right? When
Okay.
grandmother passes away,
Yeah.
does auntie inherit that same benefit
If
that
she-
grandma had?
if she gets to own the house,
Yes, if she deeds it over to her,
Yeah.
and that's a part of her will, that
Right.
she receive the same benefit
Yeah.
of being grandfathered in 100%.
yeah. But if it's a rent house, no.
No, if they own that
Yeah,
house.
they would have to own it. It is only for the homeowner. But this is a topic this just started at Thanksgiving and just a few weeks ago, and it's off and running. It's going to be reviewed. You're going to see that in the paper. You're going to see the challenges in the paper. It's going to be talked about legislatively with bills that they file, but this is a state question initiative petition process as, two separate items. If or when it passes, then what? How is that going to affect municipal funding? Because I know there's some other connections. You don't get your revenue from property tax, but I think there's some other connections I forgot to ask you about that'd be
Well, it would
okay.
impact us much less than it would schools and career
Yeah.
techs in the county. So I would think they would be very much against this. It does not, if you take away the tax source for funding what the people want, then I'm guessing the people have to want less, because it has to be paid for somehow.
Right.
And so I think that's the problem with this. I think what you're telling us with the initiative petition process, that is starting now. They don't have the votes, but they'll probably, or the signatures, but they'll probably get them. It's a lengthy process. You got to go through challenges, but are they looking to try to get it on the November ballot, or when are they trying to get it on the ballot?
That would be optimal, probably, but I would say, well, this is 26. I'm trying to, how would the wording of that, it says your 26 taxes, so I guess your 26 taxes, like,
Well, they got to get it passed first.
you got to get it
and then-
passed
yeah.
first, but our 20, well, it says January 1 of 27, so I would say, I guess their goal is to get it on the November ballot.
How is the state impacted? Does the state get any property taxes?
No.
Okay,
No.
okay.
But, you know, the state loves to tell you what to do with your tax money and the county.
Yes, yes. Or what to do with our authority,
Yeah.
yes,
But it
yes.
would affect our county government heavily.
Oh, yeah.
Would we lose our court clerk system and our county clerk? and-
Well, again,
We
their
wouldn't
money's
need
going to
assessors.
come from somewhere, and the county assessor could probably change the valuation methodology, which they probably have some wiggle room there. They could go after some sales tax revenue, which, you know, they've done in the past on certain issues. But, you know, you got to fund county government, you got to fund schools. It's great that the schools, when you look around, and especially Garfield County, we have some, just in the last 15 years, our local schools in Garfield County have done a great job of renewing their facilities, and that is through property taxes. Property taxes don't pay teachers, they don't buy curriculum, they don't buy books. Property taxes are used specifically for school buildings, school real estate improvement, buses, everything that is property. That's the correlation. The property tax funding can only be used for property. That's the way I understand it. And then the state comes in and with their formula to pay teachers and do other things. And so, anyway, it's a big deal.
Hey, Kurt, do you know, and it may be too early in it, but is Farm Bureau coming out against this? I've got to
I don't
think
know
they-
officially yet. I would imagine they would, because again, if the valuation of property taxes gets changed, that methodology, then that means farmland property tax would be bumped up. That means your businesses downtown would be bumped up. Rent houses would go up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'll find out, but this coalition is starting to come together. And I know that Mike Fina at OML is doing some work to try to pull it together, and Sean Heim at OSSBA. So.
And the folks behind to try to get the initiative petition, is it more of a grassroots thing, or are there some major dollars behind this where they could run a really good, well-funded campaign?
That's a great question, and I want to say there is some major backers.
Okay.
The people that are pushing it are, one's a former legislator who I served with, and two current legislators are pushing this into the initiative petition. I think there was a fourth person, I can't remember who that is. But I asked about the money, and they have a backer.
Okay.
So that's important for them to get the word out. And again, it's a great tagline, a great message that they're trying to promote, but there's going to be some ramifications if they do this. And you take one step and you're successful, then what? They do it again. And they go a little broader and start squeezing out, and eliminating taxes on other categories in property tax category. So anyway,
What
just
is
wanted
it?
to bring it to your attention.
Just one more question.
Yeah.
What is the percentage rate on our taxes per year, as far as inflation on our taxes? Do you have any idea?
I don't
The millage
know.
varies depending on what school district you live in. I don't know. I think Enid Public Schools is over 100 mills, and I think Chisholm's is over 100 mills. But I could be wrong. I don't know. But if you look at your tax bill that you should have just gotten, and you may get it again if you just paid half. It'll tell you. It'll
Okay.
show you how many mills. And when you look at the city of Enid on there, it'll be very tiny. It'll say something like point something.
Yeah.
millage. We typically get mills just for millage for judgments. So I don't know that we'd be significantly impacted, but we would be impacted from the perspective of if you take away the funding source for one entity, public entity, that doesn't help any other public entity. So it's I don't understand it all. It's the people ask for things and they want things, and it feels like now they want to take away the ability for that to be provided, and it can't be both ways, in my opinion. So, but I know, Kurt, all we have to do is tell you to go kill it, and you'll take care of it for us, right?
Yeah, this will be a statewide campaign. This is not a legislative process on the state question. They will file their own bills through a legislative, but they won't go anywhere. I just don't see it going anywhere in the Capitol. But on the initiative petition process, it's going to run.
It's citizen-driven.
It's citizen-driven, and it's easy. They have firms that collect signatures. It's not your next-door neighbor volunteering to collect signatures at Walmart. They bring in companies, these firms, to set up around the state for 90 days with an iPad to pull your voter data, get you to sign the petition, and they'll be able to sell the people on it with just a few sentences. Hey, do you want to reduce your property tax on the home that you own to 0? And everybody's going to be like, yeah, where'd I sign?
Yeah.
Let's vote on it. And it's just that quick, not understanding the chain reaction that will occur on the other side of that and how it affects counties, schools, and cities.
Are there
Kurt, if
studies? Go ahead.
If a school district or a city had previously passed a bond that goes out for 10 years, I mean, that bond has to be, backed up with that revenue source.
Yeah.
They can't take that revenue source away from that existing bond.
I believe that's factored into the language because it said it still calculates that pre-27 bond issue. So if you have a bond issue up for an election this summer, it's going to stick and they won't be able to touch that. But once that bond is expired, then it would go to 0.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, that
So
was
I
my
think they
question.
factored that in there.
Mayor, I got one quick question. One quick question for you. Is there any legislation in the future for bringing the ad valorem taxes together into the municipalities of our cities and share the funding together? Because I've heard them talk about it. What is it in consideration?
I don't know of anything right now, but I've heard that same discussion just last spring from municipal leadership in the state, that it's time that we need other funding sources for cities. And so I don't know, it's a slow process, but I know there are people out there that want that for our municipal government. It might aggravate the counties a little bit. I think we got to get past this hurdle first, on this initiative petition before we can have that real discussion.
Yeah, because we drive down the same roads and we all drink the same water.
Yeah, yeah. Shared agreement, maybe.
All right, anything else?
I'll be back in the first meeting in February.
Well, thanks for brightening our day.
All right. I'm here to spread the cheer.
Thank you for being here. All right. Wow, a lot of stuff. Item number 4, we are going to adjourn, and we will pick up at 6:35. Very good.